up, nerds? I'm Wes.
I'm Tom.
We're Neverboard Gaming, and today we're taking a look at the Tiny Epic Galaxies expansion, Beyond the Black, launching on Kickstarter soon.
Look at all the stuff!
So much stuff. You can build towers out of it.
Stuff you get, like, look, you can build towers. You don't actually get these. You don't get little Catan pieces. There'll be actual ships. This is a prototype.
So taking a look at what we have really quick, you've got a whole bunch of new planet cards. They've got the expansion symbol on them. Most of them are going to focus on the expansion, but there are some that just add to the base game.
There's also a whole new area, a whole new place you go, and you explore some space, and that's exactly what it is. You go here, there's a bunch of these explore space things, and you go there and you flip them up, you go, oh look, I found a planet where I can acquire 2 energy, I can acquire 1 culture, or I can hit a supernova and have to lose a bunch of my resources, which sucks, or I can hit a black hole, which really sucks, it just sucks you in. So, I mean, exploring is pretty dangerous.
Yeah, but it can also be pretty beneficial, because some of those cards just have victory points on them.
Yes.
Like here's a free victory point. Congratulations.
They also have all these badges on them, so you can collect all these sets. I think that's called Set Collection.
Yeah.
And then you can get bonus victory points. So even if you're like, I don't want to go exploring, guys, I'm going to steer clear of that during my strategy in the game, then everybody else is going to be like, eat it, nerd. I'm going to go there. I'm going to suffer through the black hole, because I'm going to get all these badges, and then I'm going to get tons of bonus points, and then boom, right there.
There is also a press your luck aspect, not just because it could be good, it could be bad, but whenever you draw one of these good green ones, you can actually put that one face up and then take the next card. And you can do that up until there's 3 on the table, and it just adds, if you're looking for one specific card, if you just need 1 more victory point, you're going to try to find it, or if you just want to find 1 specific symbol to get, 8 of this one symbol and lock in that you're going to get those victory points, you can press your luck a little bit in that.
That's true. And even in doing that, when you draw it, if you're saying, no, I don't want that, I think I can do better, then you have to place that one out there so somebody else can just walk over there and take it.
Yeah, which eliminates all of their risk. Like, you could get something better, you could get something bad, or the next person that comes, like, oh, I could go there and get that card risk-free. So the other big expansion of this game is the pilot deck. There's a whole bunch of different pilots here that you can hire that then can benefit. They could colonize a planet faster. They don't have to go through the bad stuff from those unexplored space.
Yeah, they have the badges, but you're not taking the risk of, I mean, they have fewer badges, actually. It looks like they're mostly like 1 or 2 badges per person.
Yeah, but it does give you the badges, just as a little bit of a bonus. But the biggest thing they do is they give your specific ship special abilities. Some of them can activate a planet's ability multiple times, or they can activate it no matter if they land on it or if they're orbiting it.
Yeah, some of them are better for advancing. You can advance even faster along the orbit track. So
when you hire a pilot, you actually upgrade a specific ship, which is what you use this for. This is the bay that holds the 4 specific ships you have. They actually are going to have custom meeples for each of those. They look really cool. I haven't seen them yet, but I've seen
pictures. They look nothing like
Catan
pieces.
Yes, we got Catan pieces in our prototype, but these look really slick. So different pilots can only fly certain ships, and each type of ship has a specific way to purchase it. So like this one over here, you either spend 2 energy die or 2 culture die, or this one you have to spend 2 move a ship die. Or you can spend 3 identical die of any type to hire any of these. So when you assign the pilot to the ship, you put it next to the card, and you're going to swap out one of your other ships, you have to have an available ship to do it, with one of the pilots, or one of the ships rather, from this card.
And what's cool is that when you go to do that, when you spend the 2 die in order to upgrade your ship, somebody can follow you, but they don't follow you to upgrade a ship. They follow just one of those die for the purpose of the die showing, which you weren't even doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could spend the energy, and you're not really spending the energy, but I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to gain the energy, and that's pretty cool.
And the one thing you mentioned there is following. I think this expansion really adds to following a lot. We were playing the base game a few times, getting ready for this video, and we were noticing that following doesn't happen a lot because culture is such a limited resource. They fix that in this game.
When you go to explore, the culture symbol is there.
Yeah, you can harvest culture while you're exploring.
One of the things this expansion does include is just, more stuff from the base game. You already saw that it has more planets, but it also has more secret objective cards. And the reason why I'm holding them in 2 hands here is because one of these are very specific to the expansion, mostly to exploring and collecting the badges and such. But some of them just have a lot more things to do with the base game itself, having more planets of a specific cost or things like that. So I would even say that you could grab these and shuffle them in to the secret missions deck when you're just playing the base game, just to have more options, which is pretty dope.
One of the big questions I always look at when I'm looking at expansions, especially that have this many different things, is it a modular expansion? Can you add pilots and not the unexplored space? Or can you throw in just the new secret missions and new planets and leave this out? Which for this expansion, I'm going to go ahead and say no. Now, there are new planets that have nothing to do with everything else. There's new secret objectives that have nothing to do with the new stuff. Which, go ahead and throw those in, that's fine. I would say that if you're going to add in one, I just go ahead and throw everything in. It's obviously designed for that because so many pilots deal with unexplored space that you could add in just unexplored space and leave out pilots, but none of it's that complex to add, so I don't think there's any issue in not just including everything.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, is this modular? Can you do this without doing that? And not only do I think it's not really designed to do that way, I wouldn't really enjoy it. Like, having more secret missions and some more planets is cool, but these aspects, they meld together so well that I almost wouldn't want to just explore without having pilots that make exploring better, or that have more badges, different ways to get those badges. I wouldn't really want it to be modular. I think that when you play this, you really just sink your teeth into all the new stuff that's in here.
Another thing I always ask about when I look at new expansions is, does this expansion replace just playing the base game? Will I ever play just Tiny Epic Galaxies again? And I think the answer is yes. I think, one, it's going to be a lot easier to teach someone because this does add a lot to the game. It adds just a lot more choices to make. So I think that when I'm teaching someone, I probably won't start with everything. I'll start with just the base game. And the base game is still a lot of fun by itself. I think it's still just such a great designed game. But the expansion does take it to the next level. And it really is another level. It's not like, oh yeah, it adds a little bit here and there. It's like doubles the amount of thing you can do, it feels like.
Yeah, you're right. It's dense, it's meaty. And I was almost thinking when we were playing this once, I was like, this could have almost been like its own game. This could have been Tiny Epic Galaxies 2.0. Like, I understand why they don't, like, you don't need there's a lot of stuff that you just don't need to reprint, and I mean, it works fine as an expansion. It doesn't take a long time to mix it in or whatever, but it's to that degree to where there's so much more stuff and there's so many more strategies, and the way I think playing it with this expansion is so different from when I'm playing the base game that, again, it's like a whole second game, really. It's like taking Tiny Epic Galaxies to a whole new galaxy. I just said,
whoa!
What?
And I think what you're kind of trying to get at there is that if you took all of this and put it in a big box, it could almost surpass Tiny Epic. Yeah. Like, it wouldn't take much to make all of this just one big box game. Not like huge box, but like a good size box game.
Another thing that I like about it is it really doesn't increase the time. It increases the strategy, and you have a lot more options, and it may increase the time to that effect that people are thinking more like, I could do this, I could do that. But it's not, the setup isn't a lot of time. It doesn't like specifically add, if you're going to add the expansion, that's going to add 30 more minutes to the playtime. It really doesn't, especially when people know what they're doing and stuff. You could include this, and for all intents and purposes, ignore it completely. You could have one person whose strategy never includes pilots and never includes exploring, and he just plays it, the way that you would normally do. The badges on the expansion section does entice them to. I could be like, screw you guys, I'm just going to get these, big points in these planets, and I'm not even worried about that.
You don't score those till the end of the game. So it's not like, I'm getting all these and I'm racking up a bunch of points, but it could be a game changer in that, hey, you're at 21 points, I'm at 18, you win. However, I just got, 4,
2, 4, 6, 8, yeah. You can just jump right up. Yeah, no, and I do like that about it. It's not like now you have to do these. It's like, hey, if everybody's doing it and you're not, you're going to feel left out. You're going to be like, well, I should explore, maybe, And it does suck when you explore and you get sucked into that black hole. And, so you really do have to be wary, understand the danger. And when I say that, I mean, what really sucks is that when one person's going and they're like, ooh, I just got more resources. Ooh, I got a point. Ooh, I got a point. And then I'm like, I'm going to explore. And then I just totally Charlie Brown it. I'm like, I got a rock.
But I do like that it doesn't have to change your strategy in this game. Some expansions, you add them, and it forces you to rethink the game. It forces you to be like, now that this is there, if I don't do that, I'm just going to be so far behind. It gives you so many benefits of doing it, but there's no reason you can't keep your original strategy, just go for planet points. And I think that makes it a very diverse expansion. A big complaint, and it was honestly my first complaint when I looked at this, and I heard other people mention it over the interwebs, is these round exploration cards. And if you've seen our stuff, you've talked to us at all, we sleeve everything. And how do you sleeve a round card? Yeah. Like, Is it? I don't know. And I've heard some people be like, oh, well, you could laminate your cards.
I mean,
what kind of monster are you?
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, and they are. You do shuffle them. It is a random deck, so you do shuffle them. So that is a concern.
And it was a lot easier to shuffle than I thought. My first thought was, how do you shuffle a round card? And then I found out just like every other card.
Yeah, you can just do
However, they do have a solution, and that you can just sleeve them in square sleeves. And it's not as pretty, I'll give you that, but, I mean, they shuffle just fine.
Yeah, look at you go, man.
Yeah, just shuffling. I'm just shuffling, making it rain. Just making it rain. So it is nice that there is a solution for people that insist on sleeving. And maybe check it out, see if you like it. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to sleeve the actual game when I get the production copy, but it's nice to know that if I really need to, there is an option for that.
Overall, I am extremely happy with this expansion. I think it's just A+ all around. I like every aspect of it. There's no portion of it that I didn't feel was necessary. Like, again, I always feel like if I'm going to explore, I'm going to be constantly looking at these pilots that make exploring better or getting those badges a little bit better. But then I'm not going to ignore getting the planets, because that's important too. My secret mission is probably still going to have something to do with that. And hey, those planets may have to do with the expansion components. Like, it all melts together so well, and I'm thrilled every time I sit down to play it. I'm like, this is awesome. There's so much there.
I will say that the synergy of this expansion is great. The way that the new planets merge into the old planets, the way that the planets then help exploring, and the pilots help you get the planets, and the pilots help you explore, that everything just fits so well together. I backed the original Tiny Epic Galaxies, and I think that if you did, you can't not back this one. This adds so much to the game. If you like Tiny Epic Galaxies, you have to have this expansion, because it adds so much without changing the game.
This expansion is a requirement for Tiny Epic fans.
So definitely, back the expansion. If you don't have Tiny Epic Galaxies yet, they're going to have it available in the campaign. So get it all there, get Deluxe Edition for everything, because you need it. There's no reason not to Deluxe back everything. And subscribe so you'll never be bored. So different pilots are able to pilot one of the 4 ships. They look pretty cool. They have...
Yeah, take that.